would like to draw your attention to this photograph that I took in 2015. This was just outside Puducherry. So what you see here is nature's answer to our callous attitude towards her. Yes, my friends, I took this photo on December 8th, 2015. And what you see over there is a paddy field submerged under 6 feet of water. Is this the world we are going to leave behind to our children? But there is hope. There is time. Not much, but it's still there for us. Each one of us over here has the power to make the change and can leave behind a much better world for our children. Are you ready to be part of this change? Are you willing to make the difference? Welcome to this session on environmental management. I am Vaidishwaran Vedagiri, and let's spend the next couple of hours to devise a strategy that will help us taking a few strides closer to conserving our environment. So now I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about this topic?
Sir, it's my favorite topic. Number here.
Yes.
So are you ready to learn about this topic?
Yes.
Very much.
I am SN Mathur. I am ready.
More importantly, are you ready to learn this topic along with me?
Of course. Very much.
Yes, very much.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Very much with you. Yeah.
So now I have a question for you. Do you want to have this effect on your audience throughout your training sessions and teaching sessions?
Yeah, wonderful that is.
Yes. So
Yes,
there are
indeed, yes.
absolutely. So there are a lot of ways to achieve this kind of an impact on your audience. And today I will talk about one of those methods called contouring. So here is here's one of my favorite personalities, Aristotle. So Aristotle was right. Aristotle wrote in his Poetics that drama, irrespective of the genre, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You've heard this before. I'm sure you would have heard this a number of times. Traditionally, the beginning comprises of 25% of the story, the middle approximately 50%, and the end is the remaining 25%. These are the basic proportions of a general 3-act structure. If you like to think of this in terms of probably a 4-act structure, then Act 1 will be your beginning, Act 2 and 3 will be your middle, and Act 4 is the end. So this is the typical story structure, and we have seen this work. So why contouring here? See, contouring defines the semantics of how you craft these 3 components of your story in an effective manner so that you get the result that you are looking for. Irrespective of whether your story is a personal story or is something that has been borrowed, the implementation of narrative contour will help your story become that much more impactful for your audience. So let us now go ahead and see how this is being done. So your story, whether it is a 3-act or a 4-act structure, is going to contain a few elements. The first will be your backstory. So your backstory defines the context and the time frame of your story. This is going to help you set the mood and tempo, and more importantly, create a sense of intrigue for your audience and giving them a reason to sit back and listen to what you have to say. So you have created a backstory, and now you throw in the magical catalyst. The catalyst is nothing but a situation or that pivotal point of your story that kicks off the events in the main story. And this is usually based on the central question or the burning issue that is there in the minds of your audience. And this catalyst is going to catapult your story to the first crescendo, which is the big event. So this is a direct result of your catalyst, and this typically is the beginning of the midpoint of your story. So you have created a big event, and then that event has set stage for the events to further progress along the line. And then you throw in the next element, which is the point of crisis. So the point of crisis is where a situational change happens in your big event, and this is going to cascade your story to the final crescendo, which is the showdown, which is where everything begins to fall in place and the characters of your story are going to actively work towards a resolution or a realization where you and your characters are going to deliver that implicit component of your story and give your audience their call to action as to what they need to do based on the message that you have given as part of your story. So we are looking at this gap over here, right? So in order to establish this gap, you will have to have a clear call to adventure, right? So this memorable big idea that clearly defines the gap between the current state, which is what is, and what could be, is where you have the gap. And this gap is filled in by your big idea. So we saw how the big idea emerged in the previous slide. So what we are doing here is we are going to zoom into that particular big idea, and we are going to create that sense of gap, because when it comes to creating a narrative contour, it is all about how you create that gap, because the very purpose of having a narrational contour is because you are going to use that to deliver your big idea and your call to action. So you need to do that by creating that particular gap between the current state and the imagined future state, and how your big idea and how your call to action is going to come and fill this gap for them. So let's look at how the gap can be filled. You can fill this gap by creating a contrast. So when you come to talk about contrast, building highly contrasting elements into your narration not only helps in holding the audience's attention, but also sustains them throughout the end and wants them to know more and wants them to learn as to what they need to do to be part of that story and that journey. So essentially, you're giving them a passport to your world, where they get into it, they get into the ride with you, they ride along with you, they move through the ups and downs of the story, which is basically the cycling between what is and what could be, until they hit the final resolution and that call for action that they are earning for to make things work for them. So when it comes to holding the audience's attention, one thing that we need to remember is that audiences, I was talking about this ride. See, audiences enjoy experiencing a dilemma and its resolution, even if this dilemma is being caused by a viewpoint that is opposed to their own, because this is something that as trainers, as teachers, as professors, you often come across. So when you create this contrast and when you oscillate between the viewpoints, it helps to sustain the interest. So how do you create this contrast for your audience? You can do this contrast creation using 3 different methods. Contrast can be created using content. So contrast in content can be brought in by communicating an idea juxtaposed with its polar opposite, like I just said. This creates a tension and an energy in your audience. So moving back and forth between the contradictory poles of your idea encourages a full engagement from your audience. In fact, in the year 1986, John Heritage and David Greatbatch published their study after analyzing 476 political speeches in Britain to identify what was it that preceded a round of applause from the audience. They studied over 19,000 sentences from these speeches, and they concluded that over half of the bursts of applause could be attributed to that moment in the speech where a form of contrast in content was communicated to them. The next way you can create the contrast is through emotion. So contrast and emotion is again an oscillation between the analytical and emotional components of your narration. And as Mr. Arun Subramaniam would like to call it, between your logical brain and your reptilian brain. The best way to do this is to print your script and circle the analytical and emotional components in it, and then rearrange it in such a way that the components are going to alternate. So this will not only make you sound more human and relatable to your audience, but it will also make your audience relate to the analytical component through the emotional component and respond to it in an appropriate manner. The third way in which you can create contrast is through your delivery. So contrast in delivery involves the oscillation between traditional and non-traditional delivery. You can create this contrast through various aspects of delivery like presence, your style, your visuals, your interactions, and how you are going to involve your audience in the presentation. But when you're creating contrast through delivery, you just need to remember that you need to strike the right balance so that your focus on the core message continues to remain. So now let's go to the call of action. So the call of action, which is essentially the final crescendo of your narration, where you will be giving your audience specific tasks that they need to perform. Sorry, who was that?
Please continue.
Okay. So like I was saying, this call to action is essentially your final crescendo where you are going to define specific tasks that your audience needs to perform, a response that you require from them to satisfy the objectives of your narration. See, irrespective of whether your presentation is academic, corporate, or political, your audience essentially consists of 4 types of people who are capable of taking action on what your message is. Because a lot of times this question comes to me during my presentations is, I'm presenting to a corporate environment. I'm presenting a very technical subject to a very technical audience, or probably I'm a professor and I conduct a very technical class for my students. How can I do this? You can definitely do this. See, irrespective of however technical your subject is, everything has a story. We evolved by listening and saying stories. So you can bring in all of these elements irrespective of whichever mode of delivery that you're making and irrespective of your audience, and you can still get the same effect that I had at the beginning of this presentation. So now let's look at these 4 different types of people who are there in your audience. Your first type of audience are called suppliers. So suppliers are those audience members who are the ones with the resources, be it financial, human, or material. They have the means to get you what you need to move forward. A supplier can be utilized by you by asking them to acquire, fund, provide resources, and even support the core messages and the call for action that you're giving. The next type are the innovators in your audience. See, they are people who think out of the box and come up with new ways to modify and even spread your ideas. So they are people whom you can leverage to create strategies, perspectives, and products that stem from your core idea and your call to action. So essentially, they are going to bring their brains to the table, and you have to utilize them appropriately so that you can get the best out of this kind of an audience. The third type of audience the third component of your audience are your doers. Doers are those audience members who know what has to be done, and they are the people who will just go out and get it done. So these people have the ability to recruit and motivate others in your audience, the other doers, and actually move and get things done with regards to your call to action. So these are a very important group of audience with whom you need to absolutely engage and get them to assemble. They assemble basically your audience, the ideas, and make things happen with your audience. The fourth type are the influencers. The influencers are those members of your audience who can sway individuals and groups, be it large or small, thereby mobilizing them to adapt and evangelize your ideas. So you need to engage these people effectively so that they go out and activate your audience, empower them, and essentially promote your call to action and your core message that you have as part of your story. And when it comes to concluding your narration, make sure that you always end it in a very positive note, a contagious idea that gives the audience a strong reason to believe and a strong emotional takeaway. Because the ending of a great narration is literally the first thing that your audience will remember about your presentation. So this is in a sense how narrative contouring can be done with your audience. So let me go ahead and demonstrate how this narrative contouring is done through a short program. Shall we get started? Okay. So I take that as a yes, and we'll get started.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
100 years. 100 years. Every once in a while, we are faced with a revolutionary challenge that comes along and changes everything. And in exactly after 100 years, we as humankind have been put through the same test right now. In 1919, it was the Spanish influenza. And in 2019, we have COVID-19. We are now calling for social distancing norms, mask norms, norms being the key word here. We are now living in the new normal. And you have two options in your hands. You can either sit back and wait for the good old days to come, or you can adapt to the new normal and stay ahead of the curve. We decided as a collective humanity to challenge and adapt in 1919, and the rest is history. What are we going to do now? We will not concede. In fact, we are much better placed today than ever compared to what we were in 1919 to take this challenge head on and grow. In February 2021, McKinsey Global Institute, a subsidiary of the world's #1 consultants, released a report titled The Future of Work After COVID-19. The world is really worried at how the landscape is being changed by the pandemic. It is expected that we are moving through a watershed moment. The 2020 ATD report, which is the Association of Talent and Development, said that 54% of trainers in organizations are outside the talent development sphere. This is a very surprising number. training industry report of January 2021 says that the pandemic has broken the back of corporate training because there are only classroom trainers available in the sector who really don't understand the need of the online training. This is the case even in the education sector, where teachers and professors are capable of only classroom training. And now, when they are suddenly called upon to teach online, they are facing challenges which they are not really equipped to handle. And this is leading to a miserable condition not only for the teachers and the trainers, but also for the students who are facing a massive deficit from a learning perspective. This pandemic has clearly highlighted the deficiencies of classroom training or teaching. Now the industry is realizing that converting classroom model to the online mode directly doesn't work. You just cannot simply convert a classroom for an effective virtual platform. A 2021 class, a 2021 study conducted by one class with a sample size of 14,000 showed that 75% of them are unhappy with the quality of digital learning. 85% have said that the digital learning that they have received during the pandemic has had a negative effect on their performance, and a whopping 94% have said that the current digital training that is happening in this pandemic period is not really worth the investment. This is definitely bad news, but this is also an opportunity for us. While this is a reaffirmation of the fact that porting classroom trainings directly to the online platform is a bad idea, it also presents us with an opportunity to reinvent ourselves and how we approach the online world. The time is ripe, and honestly, it doesn't get any better than this. There is hope. The 2020 Effective Trainers Report from ATD says that organizations with trainers who had at least intermediate knowledge of cognitive behavioral sciences and instructional design with advanced knowledge of at least one theory are more likely to be high performers and have the ability to create a positive impact in themselves, their audience, and their organization. Mind you, the world has decided to move forward. 86% of companies which have been giving training in the classroom mode have already shifted to the online mode. And the 14% who are still in the offline mode are in the process of moving to the online mode. So the question is, are we ready? This essentially means that each and every one of us, whether we are looking for a job or whether we are still employed and needs to get trained, needs to retrain and upskill. Without retraining and upskilling yourself, you remain at the danger of losing your job and putting your family at risk at all times. And not only that, you are also in the position to jeopardize the training, which is such an important element in the growth of people and organizations. And this is where skilled trainers come in. So we need to understand that virtual training is here to stay. So this is another report from Training Industry, which is one of the leading research based publication. So this particular article says that the training and development field is evolving and adaptation is necessary for our survival. It also goes on to say that virtual training should always be direct and to the point to engage learners and keep their attention. So the important words over here is being direct and to the point, because we now, you would have seen and heard of this expression several times that the attention span of humans has gone down to nearly that of a goldfish, and it is only around 7 to 8 seconds. While people complain about this is nothing but a natural evolutionary process, because digital content has evolved to such a level that it only takes that much amount of time to really garner the attention and sustain the attention of your audience and make them get what they want and deliver your message in an effective manner. So, again, the question simply is, are you ready? So let's move on from the international arena and look at how India is working right now. 90% of jobs in India are skill based, but unfortunately, only 6% are adequately trained. This means that a whopping 84% require training. And add to that the turmoil that the economy and the industry is going through right now because of the pandemic, you can just about start to understand the level of crisis that is lurking around the corner. More importantly, 12 million youths are entering annually into the employment fold every year. The pandemic hasn't stopped that. We are still having 12 million people entering the employment fold this year. But the current system that we have has the ability to only train 3 million youths. So this is creating a huge demand for quality trainers. So why do you need quality trainers? The reason that we need quality trainers is because the youth who are entering into the job market require the appropriate skills, and they are going to be the force to be reckoned with, and they are going to be the tools who are going to work in taking our nation forward. So why is there a dearth for quality trainers? The reason is essentially twofold. One, there is a lack of quality trainers from a training perspective. And secondly, the L&D industry in itself is unorganized and fractured. And this is making it very difficult for academics and corporates to really understand where to look for if they have to get good trainers to upskill and reskill their workforce. So this translates as a huge demand. And again, the question remains, are we ready to take this demand? The trainers in India are about training a 0.4 billion or a 402 million workforce to focus their training opportunities till the pandemic. With the onset of the pandemic and trainings going online, geographies have dissolved. And now, from a 0.4 billion market, we are looking at a 3 billion strong global workforce that has now opened up as opportunities for training. With the click of a mouse, you can connect from any part of the world to any part of the world. So I am sitting here in Chennai, and with a click of a mouse, I can talk to a group of people and train them in London. I can do that for people in New York. I can train people in Moscow. We can all do that. Geographies and those borders have all dissolved. What has essentially happened here is the market size has increased by 8 times. Now, the flip side to this, there is another side. So the flip side is that before the pandemic, you were competing only with about 1 lakh L&D trainers in India, but now you'll have to compete with 30 million L&D and trainers globally. Just how much that you have access to New York, London, Paris, and Moscow, people over there also have access to markets in India. Professionals who are very accomplished, and the student base which is available for them is enormous. So the battle lines are drawn. The competition is here. So the question remains, are you ready? As per Glassdoor, which is one of the most authentic sites for details on earnings across industries and geographies, a trainer in India makes an average of around 15,000 rupees a month, which is in comparison to a trainer in New York makes around $4,500 in a month, which is around 3.3 lakh rupees. Now, with training going online and lines of geographies being dissolved, you have the same amount of opportunities available to that trainer from New York and earn the same amount of money that they are able to do it. Now, with the world going online, the battle lines are drawn, the markets are open. The question is again, are you ready? We have a 3 billion strong workforce that is waiting to be trained. Are you ready? See, life is all about choices. You can either bury your head in the sand and wait for the good old days to come back, or you can reinvent yourself and adapt to the new world order. So, I want you all to answer, are you ready to reinvent yourself?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you want to master online training techniques?
Very much.
Yes,
Yes, very much. Very much.
Yes.
And do you want to use
Yes.
our platform?
Yes.
And do you want to use our
Yes, sure.
platform, our database, and our support to master the world of online training?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Ready.
Top League Training is extremely happy to let you know that our time has come to take the world head on by launching 2 programs, Diplomat the Trainer and Diplomat the Master Trainer. So we at Top League sat down and had a thorough discussion on what needs to be done, and we came up with a world-class curriculum. This world-class curriculum is going to empower trainers to train the 3 billion strong workforce that is waiting to be trained. Now you may ask, why do we need a world-class curriculum? This is because we have reached a point where we have realized that it is now time to break free from our current way of doing things and adapting to the new normal. It is time we started making learning engaging and practical. So let's make a quick graph, right? I like graphs. Let's make a quick graph and visualize how we are right now. Now, when we look at our current classroom-based trainings that we have been doing all along, and when we try to port this online, we find those classes sitting at the bottom over there because as we saw through numerous research studies that I just showed you and the numerous surveys that have been conducted, these porting of these classes directly online is not exactly practical and is not really engaging your audience. So what about train the trainer programs? We all have our usual suspects. And what's wrong with their curriculum? Well, the problem really is that it's a question of relevance. Again, from a practicality standpoint, what we are seeing here is essentially these programs are also doing nothing but taking their classroom-based trainings that they have been conducting and putting it online. Train the trainer programs are really good. They definitely are much more engaging than your run-of-the-mill classes that you've been conducting. But again, is it practical in the new world order? Is this relevant today? That is the question that we need to answer. And we're still talking about in these training, we're still talking about either things that we already know or things that have become redundant. For example, we're still talking about the various aspects of teaching and training in today's world, which occupies only 5% of your screen, which is that bottom small rectangle within which I am placed right now. The virtual world has a different psyche and a different set of expectations from your audience, and that is why we need a world-class curriculum. A curriculum that is not only engaging, but highly practical. I'm sure a lot of you in our audience today have been part of several of my sessions and Mr. Arun's sessions as well. So these are your 4-hour and 6-hour marathon sessions that we conduct. What makes these sessions click? What makes you as an audience not only stay throughout these sessions without a break, but also become transformed individuals at the end? Do you want to have the same transformative effect on your audience? Do you want your audience to develop that intrinsic urge to attend your sessions? We will show you how this is done in our curriculum. So what is there in this curriculum that I'm talking about all this while? Well, let me show you. Our curriculum will contain the science of learning, where we will talk about the community of inquiry. We'll talk about Bloom's taxonomy and how we move beyond Bloom's taxonomy and talk about the evolution of the taxonomy of cognitive learning, and also talk about the nudge theory, which is one of the most path-breaking theories that was conceived by Richard Thaler and was awarded the Nobel Prize for the same. We'll be going through that. And then we'll talk about program architecture. And the program architecture, we'll talk about conceptualization. How to conceptualize your program. How to create a structure and an architecture for your program. How to open your program. How to create the body of your program. How to create that perfect closing for your program. And more importantly, how to language your program. What are the right words that you need to use to elicit the expected responses from your audience? We further continue with program architecture, where we talk about rhyming, the recency, primacy, and reality distortion effects. And we also talk about baiting and looping techniques that you can use on your audience. And then we move on to instructional design. And instructional design, we talk about the neuroscience of learning. We talk about needs analysis. And we demystify cognitive biases. The cognitive bias is one of the inherent things that is available, that is present in all of us, whether we are the faculty or whether we are talking about our students. So what are those cognitive biases and how do we get around that? We talk about narrative grammar. So this topic that you saw right now is actually a segment from the narrative grammar chapter. And we also have AV fundamentals. So we are going to tell you how to prepare audio. We're going to teach you how to create your own podcast. And these are practical exercises. I will not only tell you how to create your podcast, I will also demonstrate and make you work on audio and video tools and help you create and show you how beautiful it is to create your own podcast, whether it is audio or video. How to create proposals and win over corporates with your content. And more importantly, how to write scripts for your presentation. And then we move on to delivery, where we'll be talking about voice training. Voice training is one of the things that is really close to my heart, because as trainers and teachers and professors, it is really important for us to understand that our voice is very precious and we need to train it in such a way that we are able to preserve it and go through hours and hours of sessions without damaging our vocal cords and having the same level of energy and tempo in our voice. So as a trained Carnatic music vocalist, I'm going to teach you techniques that we use in the music world that you can apply in your classroom and make sure that your voice remains in pristine condition. We'll talk about fluency. We'll teach you articulation, intonations, and how to engage your audience through your delivery. Then we'll teach you marketing. So we'll teach you the essentials of marketing. We'll teach you how to sell without spending too much money on your budget. We'll teach you how to master social media, and we'll also tell you how to achieve that subject matter expert status in you. Then we'll teach you strategy, where we'll show you how you can break into the corporate world, how you can strategize your growth timeline, how to create a community for yourself, and how to build a value for you and your program. This will be followed by support information, where we'll teach you some of the pitfalls that are there in the different modes of delivery. We'll teach you technology that is involved in online platforms and other modes of training. We'll teach you grooming etiquette on not only how to do it in classroom, but also in the virtual world. And yeah, so the grooming and etiquette part will definitely come as part of it. So who is going to train you in all of this? So your faculty will be myself, Vaidishwaran Vedigiri, and we have our master in cognitive sciences, Mr. Arun Subramanian, who will also be teaching you this entire course. And along with us, we have a fantastic support faculty in the form of Mr. Durga Prasad and Mr. Mohan Raju, who will be along with us throughout this entire journey. So now let's get to the actual program. The Diplomat, the Trainer. So the Diplomat, the Trainer is the program which is aimed at students who are looking to make themselves a brand new, exciting career in the training industry, and for those who are looking to make a fresh start into the training industry or planning to change their career and move into this world. The course duration is from 4th of September to 12th of February. This is a 100-hour program. The classes will happen on Saturdays and Sundays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And the course architecture is essentially the Saturdays and Sundays that I mentioned are live sessions, live experiential sessions that Mr. Arun and I will be conducting. Apart from that, you will be part of the learning community, which will work all week and support each other to internalize the learning. And of course, Mr. Arun and I will also be there. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those. And once you've completed your training, we will give you access to our platform and our database for 1 full year to prepare and deliver your programs. And all of these sessions, training sessions, are recorded, and the recordings will be available to you for a full 2-year period, where you can go back, refer, and polish your presentations and polish yourself as a trainer. So the course fee is, we have a special introductory price of 30,000 plus GST. If you are going to be paying it in 4 installments, or if you want to pay in 1 installment, it is going to be 25,000 plus GST. We give a 5,000 rupee discount over there. And this is the certificate that you will be getting once you complete the program. And all you need to do is register today at just rupees 999. All you'll have to do is just pay 999 rupees today and register for the program and get started with the journey. So we already have the group in place. We have a group of fantastic people who have registered. You will be added to that group immediately, and you can get started and join into our conversation. Now let's look at the Diplomat, the Master Trainer, the second program. So this program is essentially designed for people who are from the training and L&D industry, who are looking to upskill themselves and transition to the new normal and transform themselves into the training and learning professionals of international standard and repute. So this is a 150-hour program that begins from 3rd September and goes on until the 20th of March. The course days are on Fridays and Sundays. The Friday sessions are from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. India time, and the Sunday sessions happen from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. India time. We have a special introductory price for this program at 85,000 rupees plus GST. But there is one more thing. There is one more thing which is going to be of great interest to you with this particular program, and this sets us apart from the rest. For this program, we split the responsibility. you will only be paying a part of the fee before the course, and the rest of the fee you will pay only after you earn after completing the course. So before the course, you will pay 60,000 plus GST. You will be paying it in if you are paying it in 4 installments. If you are doing a one-time payment, we give you a 10,000 rupee discount and it's 50,000 plus GST. And once you've completed the course, like we said, we have the platform, we have all our resources available to you. We are also there to support you for a period of 1 full year, and we will make you earn by giving you our full support. And from your earning, you will pay back that 25,000 to us. So how do we support you? Top League Training, along with Mr. Arun Subramanian's community and our network through WhatsApp, through Facebook, and through LinkedIn, we have a 75,000 plus strong community membership. So let's say that you complete the program and you create an advertisement on Facebook or Google. Each click is going to cost you 50 rupees. Now, if you complete the course with us, we will promote your program to this particular community. So once your program is ready, your program is going to be advertised straight to the 75,000 plus community members. And the platform that we have the capability of hosting over 1,000 people in our platform. That platform is again given to you for free. And you also get free support from our panel over here, from me and Mr. Arun Subramaniam, our supporting faculty, and your network, which will make you create beautiful and successful programs and earn from that. So from your earnings, you will only pay 10% of it until you hit the 25,000 mark. So once you've done that, whatever you earn beyond that is all yours. And you can still use our platform for that 1 full year. All you need to do is register today for just 999 rupees. And like I said earlier, we have week-long support to internalize the learning from us, the faculty, the support faculty, and the community. You have access to our platform and our resources for 1 full year. You have access to the video recordings for 3 years as part of the Master Trainer program to polish and refine your programs. And you will get this certificate, Diplomat D Master Trainer, which you can proudly present as part of your CV when you go out to the world and start transforming people. One more thing. I have one more thing for you. This certificate that I just showed you is going to be a wonderful addition to your curriculum vitae. So how about I give you one more thing to go along with that? How about I give you a psychometric test bundled with this program? Yes, the Diplomat D Master Trainer comes with the Florence Littore test, which is bundled as part of the program. And the best part is this. What is better than taking a psychometric test what is better than taking a psychometric test once? It is taking it twice. So this program offers you the opportunity to take up the Florence Littore test twice. Once before you get started with the course, and once after you complete your course and start delivering your presentations. Now, this is going to serve 2 purposes. Number 1, it is going to help you track your progress and reflect on how far you have come and the value that you've got from this particular program. And number 2, this is going to be such a valuable document to your curriculum vitae, where if you're going to show the results of your psychometric test conducted after going through this training program, you will be so many steps ahead of the rest of the world. So let me summarize the opportunities that we have as part of the program. So you have the opportunity to establish a new highly rewarding career beyond the boundaries of your country on an international arena. 150-hour online training by experts, followed by 104 hours of follow-up and practice sessions by the support faculty, which in essence totals to 254 hours of hands-on training and experiential learning. Recordings of the entire course is going to be available for 3 years for revision and mastering. You have access to the platform and database of top league faculty and the marketing resources, and access to all our community members for 1 full year to enable you to earn and sharpen your skills in your journey to becoming a master trainer. You have the opportunity to earn over many times the course fee that you're going to be paying within a year of completing your course. And of course, the opportunity to be assessed twice by the internationally acclaimed Florence Latour test. So all you need to do is click the link, which is going to be posted on the chat window by Mr. Durga Prasad, and register right now and join us in the journey of transforming people and transforming the world. So I would now like to thank you for your time and open it up for any questions you might have.
Sir, this is M. Chidambaram. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Mr. Chidambaram.
Yeah, normally in the JC fold, suppose 30 people are running a seminar. They have they have some criteria. They don't qualify everybody. But here, whereas in such professional, I think everybody is qualified. Is it? Is it based on performance of attending the program, or you also would like to? Would you clear all the people as trainers, or would you hold back somebody based on performance?
Mr. Chidambaram, there is no question of holding back. Once you come into our program, you will go out as an international trainer. That is a guarantee that we give you.
Okay.
There is no second thoughts about it.
So whoever attends is qualified.
You will qualify. I mean, I don't have to tell you. See, Mr. Chidambaram, we don't have to tell you that you have qualified. You will understand. You will realize the fact. You will see the difference in you. And that is actually one of the reasons why we have the Florence Latour test that is going to happen, because not only will you realize the fact that you have qualified, you're going to have a third-party test, a psychometric test done on you, which is going to reaffirm the fact that you have become a master trainer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chidambaram.
Sir, I have a question. I don't know the technological I'm upgradation to how to. I'm not no Facebook, no LinkedIn, only WhatsApp I can use till today. It will be difficult for me, or how can I can learn?
I'll give you a small example. I was conducting a training a couple of years back. One gentleman came to me. So I was conducting a training on PowerPoint. So this gentleman came to me with his laptop and he asked me, "Sir, could you please tell me if PowerPoint is installed in my machine?" And now he is one of the top trainers in the world. Let me tell you this. He is one of the top trainers in the world today. So I can guarantee you, by the time you are done with this program, you will be a wizard with technology. I can guarantee that to you. Absolutely.
If it happens, it is a great transformer.
Yes.
Okay, if it happens, I've been trying myself to upgrade my, but sometimes due to technological, I am not upgrading well.
Not a problem. You will definitely upgrade, and I will be personally teaching the technology part. And don't worry, sir, I am a very patient teacher. As a lot of people, my friends over here will vouch for me over here, and I'll make sure that you become extremely strong in technology. That is something that I will guarantee.
Yes, I trust you and Arun sir both, but some not in some percentage of fear it comes in my mind. I may be able or not.
That is absolutely natural, sir. Please come in. I will make those fears go away.
Mr. Vaidishan, I have put the link in the chat box.
Okay.
So people can click on the link. Mr. Suresh is saying he's not able to register. Mr. Suresh, I will share the link separately with you on your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Or I have
just
already
tried
registered.
I tried net banking. Axis Bank is not there featuring there.
Okay.
Sir, I have already registered in first day.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you, sir.
I think this is Rajendra. Just that I think beyond the technology, it is mostly the personal shyness actually which refrains me from going out and writing some posts on the Facebook or whatever social media. I think that is also one of the aspects which probably you are going to cover.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the part of that psychometrics what you are talking about.
See, absolutely. We will definitely be covering social media on how to create those posts and what are some of the strategies that will make your post stand out. Of course, technology is definitely going to be part of it, and that will actually come under the marketing portion. Yeah.
I just love
Can
your
I answer
slides
that
actually.
question,
That is also, I think,
Mr.
one thing to learn from you.
Yes, Mr. Arun, please go ahead.
See, Mr. Rajendra Sapre, we will see this course is going to be very comprehensive. Just knowing how to prepare a presentation or how to give a presentation is not sufficient.
Yeah.
You need to know how to market your presentation, then how to create a community around that, base which you are going to create so that you can continue to scale up your, professional abilities as a presenter. We are talking about an alternate career or alternate revenue stream. See, you are having talent, but if you are not going to reach the talent to the world, how will the world benefit out of it?
Yes, got your.
And this pandemic has created a huge vacuum in the world of training and education. It is not visible today, but it is going to be visible very soon in a very big way. You see, even now industries have not opened up. Schools have not opened up. For the last 18 months, schools are shut. It is only when the schools open up and the children start going, the real problems will surface. And you see the average earning of, average saving of every household has come down by 12% in 97% of the households in the country. The number of people who are paying PF has reduced by 13.2 crores. All this impact is going to become visible in the coming days. Companies, top management has become extremely averse to taking people because they are also cash strapped like everybody. Business has not been running. So, people need to upskill themselves. Each individual has to learn to do 2-person's job. Automation is coming in a big way. Digitization is happening in a very big way. Things are going online. In this massive disruption which is taking place across the board, the younger generation has to grow. People who are in the age group of 40 to 50, they have to get their children educated. They have to get their children married. They have to pay the housing loan, the vehicle loan, everything. It is under these conditions that we are talking about upskilling and retraining people. And as Mr. Vaidisharan showed, there is a massive deficit in terms of capability. For the simple reason that training was all classroom based earlier, which is an explicit type of learning which they were driving, and now it is implicit learning. For the simple thing, you see, my video is off, you can't see me, your video is off, I can't see you. It is under these blindfolded conditions that learning has to take place. The Mehrabian principle of 7% word, 38% tonality, 55% body language has been blown to smithereens. It is under these conditions that trainers have to relearn how to deliver the message, how to drive learning.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
a massive challenge, Mr. Sapre, but a challenge which mankind can overcome.
Yes.
Mankind has overcome much more dangerous things than this. You see, the Spanish influenza, which Mr. Vaidishwaran was talking about of 1919, it came in 3 waves. And the second wave was the most dangerous. It took 50 million lives, 26 million from India alone. Fortunately, we are not that badly affected. And we don't talk about the economic consequences of that time for the simple reason we were under the British rule, and the Britishers were a bigger pandemic than the Spanish influenza. If we could overcome 2 pandemics in the early part of the 20th century, we can overcome one in the early part of the 21st.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Vaidishwaran, please.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Arun. Any other questions for me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Vaidishwaran.
Yes, Mr. Durga Prasad?
No, Mr. Jagdish is asking one question.
Yes, Mr. Jagdish.
Voice is not clear.
Yeah, I think the audio is not coming through.
Mr. Jagdish, the audio is not coming properly. If you can type it on the chat box, it will be easy for us to read, sir.
Yeah.
Your voice is not clear, sir. Anyway, before he comes, I would like to. I think he has some problem with the audio.
எனக்கு தெரியாதுப்பா. See, it was
Mr. Vaiti, I would like to share with the audience about the forthcoming program on 22nd. So let me share the poster for that.
Yeah.
Friends, we have another program coming on end of August. It's by Mr. Arun Subramanian on how to deliver like a master. It's again a slice from the main Diplomat Master Trainer program. So request you all to register for this program also on the 22nd. We will share the link to you in a short while. Please do register for this program also. And definitely you'll get good insights. Thank you, Mr. Vaiti. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Durga Prasad. Any other questions for me?
What a virtual training or some, if we can sometime, if possible, any classroom training also possible from you.
See, classroom training. Essentially the basics of training will be the same thing. But the thing is that for virtual training, we will have a set of different strategies that we'll be adopting on how to engage your audience and how to make yourself work within the paradigms of the virtual world, and also understand how people typically respond in a virtual environment. And based on that, we will be showing you how it is done.
I trust in you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions for me?
Mr. Vaidishwaran.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn Vijay.
Yes, sir.
I hope we need not learn music for good voice. Am I right?
Not at all. I mean, it's not required, sir. I will. There are some basic principles and some exercises that I will be teaching you to strengthen your voice. And
Okay.
you can do that with just a script. You don't have to learn music as such, but there are some.
Saregama, ABCD, I don't know. That's why I was a bit worried.
Not at all a problem, sir. The basic fundamentals are very simple. I will show you how exactly your voice works and how the anatomy is and how you need to exercise the different parts, the different sequences where your voice is getting produced, so that you are able to take control of your voice, and not only that, sustain your voice from start to finish.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions for me? Okay, so if there are no more questions, I guess I will pass it back to Mr. Durga Prasad.
Yes, Mr. Vaitishwaran, thank you so much for your time and the insights that you've given.